Hello, welcome to the quadratics homework. Let's get started, shall we? All right, first thing you're always going to do when you have a squared is set it equal to 0. All right, so 2n squared. We're going to move the 11 over, which means we have to subtract it. Okay, we're going to subtract that over. Minus 63 equals 0. Okay, so now we have our A is equal to 2, B is equal to negative 11, and C is equal to negative 63. That's up. All right, I'm going to do it up here. The quadratic equation goes something like this. Negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. All right, so we're using the quadratic equation formula to solve for this. So we plug in, this would be negative 11 I mean. So it's 11 plus or minus the square root of negative 11 squared. I'm just gonna write it like that. That's negative 11 squared. Why write it out? I mean, got it right there. Minus 4 times A times C. Okay, so that's a double negative right there. And so we have to multiply that out. Oh, and this is all over 2A, by the way. Okay, so there we have it. That's a 63. All right, so we have 11 plus or minus the square root. And I'm just gonna do this all in one fell swoop here. I'm gonna do 121 minus 4 times 2 times negative 63. 625, that's gonna work out nicely. Okay, so I just plugged all in. This all simplifies to 625. This is all over 4 now. And so this is 11 plus or minus 25. That's the square root of 625 all over 4, which then gives us two answers really, right? Okay, 11 plus 25 divided by 2. One of the answers is 18, and 11 minus 25 divided by 2 is negative 7. Those are my answers. All right, do the same thing for the next problem. I'll do the left side. Solve for the variable by factoring. All right, first thing we're gonna do is set it equal to 0, because we always set it equal to 0. All right, I'm gonna choose to move all my stuff this way. So I'm going to add, I'm going to add, and I'm going to add. So I'm gonna add all this stuff over, so that makes this m squared. I'm going to add plus 13m, and I'm going to add plus 42 equals 0. Okay, what are two numbers that multiply to 42? And I can use them to make 13. How about 6 and 7? Yep, plus 6, plus 7. There we go. Again, these add to 13. They multiply to 42. It's about 42. And the answer is negative 6 or negative 7. All right, next one. What are we going to do first? We're going to set it equal to 0, of course. I'm going to move that over. I'm going to add, which just makes that n squared. When I add that over, I'm going to subtract the 6n. And that's already 8 on that side. And it is now equal to 0. I moved everything over. And now I will factor. Okay, let's see here. So n, what are two numbers that make 8? And I can also use them to make a 6. How about a 4 and a 2? And it's got to be negative 4 and negative 2, which gives me the answer of 4 or 2 to finish the problem off. Okay. These will combine to -6, and they multiply to +8. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Number 3. Short leg of a right triangle is 3 less than the long leg. Let's check it out here. The short leg of a right triangle is 3 less. So this must be the long leg, and here's your short leg. All right, and that says the hypotenuse is 3 more. All right, there's my setup. And I'm going to use the Pythagorean Theorem now. So this would be a squared plus, you can put parentheses around it if you want, that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay. Okay, we have to expand this out. Okay, now we will FOIL. We have x squared, x times x times -3, another x times -3 for -6x total there with our -3's, and then we have a +9, and then we'll do that again, x squared, 3x, so 6x total, and then 9. Okay, so here's some stuff we can do for this. I can take 1x squared away from this side, and I can take 1x squared away from this side. I can take a 9 away from this side, and I can take a 9 away from this side. So there's some cancellation there from either side, which leaves me with x squared minus 6x equals positive 6x. Okay, let's keep going here. And let me write that again. Okay, now this is a quadratic, technically. It's a different one. I'm going to subtract. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out an x. This has an x in it that I can take out, and this has an x that I can take out. So I'm going to take out the x. All right, that's a much easier factoring. That's not necessarily like the FOIL thing, but all we did was we divided by x and took out the x. And if I distributed that back in, you'd see that we'd be back up to there. So now either x is 0 or x is 12 to make this 0, okay? So either this is 0 or this is 0, and if this is 0, then that's 12. So those are my answers. Obviously 0 won't make sense for side length, so 12 was the answer. And if you put 12 back in, you'll get 12 plus 3, and 12 minus 3. That is a 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 3 times 5 right triangle, 3, 4, 5. Number 4 says, what are the solutions to the equation? This is screaming, the way these are written, this is screaming quadratic formula. So what I'm going to do is move the x over and then use my quadratic formula, which is -b plus or minus the square root of b squared, so -1 squared, minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a, which simplifies to, this is 12, 1 minus 12, sorry, 1, that'd be plus, because this is change here. So 1 plus 12, since I'm being 12, is 13, all over 2, and we can see our final answer is 1 plus or minus 13 over 2. So D is the answer. This is straight from an SAT question right here. Okay, next, what is the sum of the solutions? All right, and we'll start it off by expanding this out. So this is 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. And apparently this is equal to x plus 2. And we expanded it out. That's what you need to do. Now we will distribute. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. Another negative 2x and a positive 1. And do it again. X times x. X times 2. Whoops. 2 times x. And 2 times 2. Okay, I'm going to clean them up. 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract. And I'm going to subtract. Okay. Now that I got that, I can see that my A equals 3, my B equals negative 8, and my C equals negative 3. So, I'm out of room at this point, but I'm going to keep this problem going on a scrap sheet of paper. Okay. Let me keep the problem going down here. Okay, so I've got A, B, and I have C, so I'm going to do my quadratic equation, which is negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. All over 2 times A. All right, there we have it. So this is 8 plus or minus. Let's clean all this up in here. 64 minus 4 times 3 times negative 3. 100. Oh, that's nice. All over 6. There we go. So that's 8 plus or minus 10 over 6, which gives me 2 answers. 8 plus 10 is 18. 18 divided by 6 is 3. The other answer is 8 minus 10, which is negative 2. Negative 2 over 6, which is negative 1/3. So the question is asking you to add these together, which is 2 and 2/3 when you add them together. The answer is 2 and 2/3. Wow, that was a tough question. Good luck with that one. That's all I have to say about that.